Lucian says, this is about the supply chain. And I've just got to pause it. Hold on. It's been one bumpy roller coaster ride on this supply chain thing. On Monday, it looked like definitely things were going to get bad. And then Tuesday or Wednesday, it seemed like Trudeau blinked and he said, no, never mind about the vax thing, and drivers won't have to isolate. And then Thursday, Friday, started to hear rumors, etc. And Trudeau is making an announcement that, actually, we're going to go ahead with this. And so the supply chain is already being hammered by work shortages, bad policy that is being put in place by the federal and provincial governments with the scapegoat as COVID. They're saying we have to put this policy in place because of COVID, but the policy they're putting in place doesn't actually work to combat COVID, right? It would be like saying, I stubbed my toe, doctor, and the doctor's saying, okay, in order to fix this, we're going to cut your foot off. And then you do it, and then you say, okay, when is my toe going to be fixed? And he says, no, we've cut your foot off. You don't understand, it's fixed now. Welcome to rehab to relearn how to walk, right? But you don't have to worry about that stub toe anymore. That's where I feel like we're at. And here's Lucian, and he says, my prediction, truckers will strike, supply chains will collapse. Trudeau won't budge and will blame them, the truckers, for being selfish. Regular people will go hungry. I hope not. Trudeau will then seek War Measures Act, and then the real fun will begin. So you're hungry, you're starving, you want a solution. Enter Trudeau with the War Measures Act. If only I could take control. Did you see how well we negotiated the USMCA? Right? Did you see how well we can spend money and fail at fixing healthcare? Right? All we need is for Justin Trudeau to take over and everything will be better. And so they'll all vote for the War Measures Act. And what will we do? We're either a cog in a stream, like a log in a stream being rushed along. And when you look across the world, look at Australia and look at their protests, look at France. I'm going to show you images of protests around the world as well. And bigger protests than we've seen, but we have seen big protests in Canada, and we're not seeing any movement. So I'm not saying don't protest. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying let's find something that works, because it doesn't seem like the protests are stopping this. If they stop this, I mean, I do it every day, but it doesn't look like they're stopping this. Maybe if I'm wrong, show me I'm wrong. Show me where the protests have pushed back. Have there been battles that we've won? The parks, maybe reopening schools, maybe. Was it the protests that did that? Something else, I don't know. Anyway, if the public is uncomfortable, and if you are going to a grocery store not knowing if you're going to get meat that week, or if they ration meat, if they ration foods, etc., because of the shortages, then what happens, right? And so people will give their permission to go back to a normal that is being promised but can't be delivered because they're not willing to roll back the policies that are causing these issues. And that's the crux of it. It's not COVID that's doing this. It's the bad policies that are in place to control COVID that don't work that are doing this. And the government will not recognize that, and they will not change. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope they do recognize it. I hope they do change. But it doesn't seem like we're on that pathway, okay? Lucian doesn't think so either. So here's some more trucking and supply chain knowledge. How do truckers spread a supposed contagious germ sitting alone in their truck? Good question. Here is, sorry, Twitter takes a minute sometimes. There's two videos. Both are from TikTok, and both are from truckers who are parking their rigs. So here we go. There is writing on the screen. It says, F your mandates. We're done here. It's that easy. You can't force my decision. I'm 10-10 on the side of enjoying time at home. And he takes his key and he drops it on the floor, and he closes his truck. He goes and gets in his car. So just that easy on this one. And here's the second video. This guy's explaining his supply chain impact. Here is this gentleman's story.
The border into Sumas, Washington for the very last time. It's my last visit to the United States. I used to take 2 loads of lumber south and typically 2 loads of steel north out of Seattle. And that contribution to the economy comes to an end today. That's it. I'm done. And I refuse to give in under any circumstances. I'll never comply. If we don't have bodily autonomy, if we don't have control over ourselves, if we don't own our own physical bodies, then we own nothing at all. This is the hill I'm going to die on. I will never back down.
So there are a lot of people, a lot of truckers saying, this is it, no further. This is the line and I will not comply anymore. And will it matter? I hope so. I hope so. I hope it's not all for nothing. Here's Maxime Bernier. He says, join Randy Hillier, Take Action Canada, and me in Waterloo on Sunday, January 23rd to support the truckers. So they'll be in Waterloo at 12 to 2 on Sunday, January 23rd. So that's this coming Sunday. So if you want to get out there and talk to them. Here is Spencer Fernando. With vaccine mandates for truckers, Trudeau seems intent on deliberately damaging Canada's economy. So here's a little sample of Spencer's take. In a desire to gain even more power, Justin Trudeau and the Liberal government appear to be taking the following risk: deliberately damage Canada's economy while hoping all the anger from the damage can be directed toward unvaccinated Canadians. The reason to reach this disturbing conclusion is that there is no possible way that the Trudeau government thinks the mandate won't damage the economy. They know it will. They know it will worsen supply chains that have already been damaged by lockdowns and the distortionary impact of rampant money printing. They also know that the damage to the supply chains will raise prices even higher due to shortages and will hurt millions of Canadians. Nothing generates more widespread public anger than sustained price increases and shortages of key goods. Trudeau knows this, and his advisors know this as well. As Bloomberg reported, the warnings are already coming in. Canada plans to start turning away unvaccinated U.S. truckers at the border this weekend, a move that threatens to upend the flow of everything from food to auto parts to building supplies between two of the world's largest trading partners. I've also seen reports. There was one I retweeted this morning. Actually, I'll see if I can go find it. Hold on. Here it is. My friend and fellow driver just got his truck back, says John, after a month of waiting for parts. Some may remember when I posted that story a month or so ago. That's one truck, but it's happening all over the country. So we are in a situation where the supply chain is being drastically threatened, and nobody seems intent on seeing the connection between the bad policies, the bad illegal mandates, and the impact here. Do you think that they will be able to see it once the proverbial shit starts to hit the fan? I don't know. At this point, who knows, right? Like if the government comes out and says, you know who's responsible for this? Anti-vaxxers protesting at hospitals. The people will say, oh, brava, you guys are so brilliant. It's unbelievable. And so, sorry, this is Lucian's prediction again. Do you think it's likely? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think in the comments. I have no idea. We'll see. We will see. And that's terrifying.